You've submitted your MBA applications. Congratulations. Now it's time for the next phase of your application journey, interview preparation. One of the very first steps you should take is understanding what type of interview your target school uses. MBA programs employ different styles of interviews. Most programs will fall into one of two categories, resume-based or comprehensive. A resume-based interview means that your interviewer has only seen, you guessed it, your resume. They've not seen your complete application or essays, nor have they seen stats like your standardized test scores or GPA, unless you put those on your resume. One nice aspect of resume-based interviews is that anyone can conduct them. Your interviewer could be a second-year student, an alum, an admissions committee member, or even a faculty member at times. Note that sometimes this style of interview is called blind, but we don't think that's the best label since your interviewer still has some information about you from your resume. On the other hand, a comprehensive interview means that your interviewer has reviewed your entire application before your interview. They've read your essays, they've looked at your transcripts, your test scores, your recommendation letters, everything. Comprehensive interviews will almost certainly be conducted by admissions committee members. You're likely wondering which bucket your target programs fall into. The majority of business schools, including Stanford GSB, Chicago Booth, Columbia Business School, Yale SOM, Dartmouth Tuck, Berkeley Haas, and Michigan Ross, employ resume-based interviews. Conversely, three top programs are known for their comprehensive style: Harvard Business School, MIT Sloan, and NYU Stern. It's worth noting two exceptions. First, UPenn Wharton uses team-based interviews. For those, we have a separate video on the Wharton team-based discussion, which is worth checking out. Secondly, UVA Darden has completely blind or anonymous interviews, where your interviewer has not even seen your resume and may not even have it in front of them during the interview. Exceptions aside, resume-based and comprehensive approaches lead to contrasting styles of interviews. Let's consider what a resume-based interview looks like. These interviews typically start with an introductory question like, walk me through your resume, or tell me about yourself. With a relatively clean slate, this is your chance to set a great first impression and highlight what you think is most important to highlight. Since this question is so ubiquitous, we have a separate video on how to answer walk me through your resume that you should definitely check out. From there, your interviewer may ask follow-up questions based on your resume, like where you've had the biggest impact or why you got involved in a particular community activity. Your interviewer may also ask behavioral questions that don't necessarily link to your resume, such as tell me about a time you failed or tell me about a time you faced a conflict. And they will surely ask about your desired post-MBA career goals, your reasons for pursuing an MBA now, and why that target school is a good fit for you. For those questions, you can double dip by covering content from your essays. In fact, it's important that your interview is consistent with your application, so be sure to review your entire application before your interviews. A resume-based interview isn't a chance to completely reinvent yourself. Comprehensive interviews could look completely different. In fact, comprehensive interviews can vary from one candidate to another because they're tailored to you. They also might even vary from one interviewer to another because each interviewer might start in a totally different place. They won't start with that broad foundational question. This style of interview gives the admissions committee a chance to dive deeper into you as a candidate. This means that they might not start the interview with a question like, as I said, walk me through your resume. Instead, they might dive right in and ask about a particular work experience or community activity. They might ask you a follow-up question about something you discussed in your application or for more insight into your upbringing, or they might ask for updates since you applied. It's impossible to know, and that's actually important because you don't want to be caught off guard. You have to be prepared to add new information and angles to your stories and be reflective and help to connect the dots between your experiences. With comprehensive interviews, you should not be relying on your essay content for responses. Instead, you should be reflecting on your experiences and going in prepared to talk about almost anything. With an understanding of the differences, you should now be ready for more targeted interview preparation. I encourage you to download our free school-specific interview guides for more in-depth information on your target school's interview style. Then check out On Track by mbaMission, our comprehensive on-demand MBA admissions course. We have an entire module dedicated to interviews with lessons on how to prepare for each type of interview, in-depth breakdowns of the most common interview questions, and examples of strong and not so strong interview responses. We also provide you with an interview simulation tool that allows you to practice and record your interviews for each of your target schools using actual questions asked by the programs in past interviews. Remember that no matter the style of interview, your interviewer wants to speak to a human, not a robot. So don't be too scripted. Instead, you should aim to be authentic, engaging, reflective, in the moment. Where appropriate, emphasize how you'll add value to the school and show your excitement for the opportunity. Next up, how to answer some of the most common MBA interview questions. Don't miss it.